Let me ask you a question. Have you ever heard of the Titanoboa? No, you're not alone. This creature has been completely lost to time after living in South America more than 58 million years ago. But trust me when I tell you the Titanoboa wasn't just an ordinary snake, it was truly massive. It measured almost 50 feet long and weighed over 2 tons, making it the largest snake to have ever lived on Earth. That's right, bigger than any dinosaur. But size isn't its only terrifying quality. The Titanoboa was so powerful that even one bite could shatter a school bus into pieces. So what else did this giant boa do? It could constrict with enough force to crush large crocodiles, never mind human beings. Unbelievable, but true. How did such an impressive creature come about, and why aren't there any around today? Well, prepare yourself, because I'm about to uncover every chilling detail about this prehistoric predator. It appeared after the extinction of meat-eating dinosaurs 65 million years ago and before the appearance of the megalodon, a giant shark that measured 33.5 feet in length and had a name that literally translates to big tooth. Paleontologists also think that Titanoboa had brownish or grey skin, which allowed it to blend in with the muddy rivers and tropical rainforests, where it thrived by providing at least some degree of concealment. It is unknown how quickly it could travel over land, and it is also unknown whether or not it could climb trees. But how did scientists determine the enormous size of the Titanoboa through fossil evidence alone? Even though the researchers have only uncovered a few fragments of the snake's backbone and portions of its head, this was sufficient for them to be able to compute the enormous size of this snake and determine that it was in fact a snake in the first place. They were even able to determine that it was connected to current boas and anacondas, which allowed them to classify it in the family of Boidae, which still exists today. The Titans, who feature prominently in Greek mythology, are the inspiration for the name Titanoboa. The word boa originates from the Latin term for a big snake that Pliny the Elder described in his natural history book. Did you know that Titanoboa was longer than a school bus and weighed over a ton? Stay tuned to unravel the mysteries behind its enormous size and find out why it had the power to shatter bones. The name Cerrejonensis comes from the Cerrejón coal mine in La Guajira, Colombia, which was the location where the first fossils of this species were discovered. It would seem that there are no other subspecies of the T. cerrejonensis species. One may suppose that a snake of its size could consume whatever it wanted to. However, experts believe that the snake's diet consisted mostly of fish. They reached this conclusion after considering the palate of the snake in addition to the number and structure of its teeth. It is most probable that the fish were different species of lungfish or other bony fish known as Osteoblosomorpha. The vast majority of these fish no longer exist today. Titanoboa most likely fed on a variety of other animals, including birds, reptiles, and crocodilians, when it wasn't eating fish. A fully developed snake would have little trouble taking down a turtle weighing 300 pounds. It was a dinosaur that lived in the steamy tropical jungles that thrived between 58 and 60 million years ago. This was long after all of the voracious predatory dinosaurs, such as Tyrannosaurus rex, had passed away peacefully. The snake was so enormous and hefty that it most likely spent the most of its life in the various rivers that were found in its natural environment. Its 2-ton body would have remained buoyant in the sea, much like a whale or shark of comparable size. There is a possibility that the snake might hold its breath for up to an hour when it was submerged in water. Not only was the Titanoboa the most dangerous predator in South America, but it was also one of the most dangerous animals in the whole world. Paleontologists have not been able to identify any predatory species that would have been capable of bringing down an adult. In point of fact, there are others within the scientific community who think the snake joyfully ingested complete crocodilians in addition to fish. On the other hand, It is likely that the same crocodilians that consumed the adult titanobos also preyed upon juvenile and eggs of the species. The only real danger that the species as a whole faced was from the changing climate. In this particular instance, the environment began to get cooler, which was a bad sign for Titanobo. The fossil record of it begins relatively recently with its initial discoveries. In 2009, paleontologist Jonathan Block and his colleagues found the bones of 30 of the snakes in the Cerrejón coal mines. In the next few minutes, we will unveil the shocking truth about Titanobo, the giant snake that ruled the ancient world. Prepare to be amazed as we explore how it became the ultimate apex predator, capable of crushing bones with ease. Jonathan Block is the one who made the discovery of the fossils. The fossils were discovered by the researchers in rocks that had been in place for 58 million years prior to the time when they were unearthed. They not only discovered the bones of this snake, but they also discovered evidence that it had formerly lived in a prehistoric rainforest. The Jose Arroyo y Gómez Geological Museum in Bogota, Colombia, is where the fossilized vertebrae of the snake may currently be found. Colombia is the country that is home to this museum. It is estimated that the snake became extinct sometime between 58 and 60 million years ago, which suggests that its rule was quite brief in terms of geological time. Even while scientists aren't 100% sure, they have a sneaking suspicion that shifts in the climate had some influence in the occurrence. As the temperature continued to fall, it became difficult for the enormous snake and the other huge reptiles to maintain their normal metabolic rates. Additionally, the jungles that Titanobo ruled over eventually gave way to grassland as the years passed. All of this prepared the way for the formation of smaller reptiles, which eventually came to dominate the environment. Scientists believe that the animal was able to grow to such a big size because its natural environment was much warmer in the past compared to how it is today, which allowed the animal to grow to such a large size. Reptiles can only grow to a certain size before their metabolisms begin to slow down to the point that they are unable to function properly. This size limit is based on the fact that reptiles have a maximum capacity for body growth. The temperatures of reptiles' bodies are directly related to the temperatures of their immediate environments. A snake that lives in a warm environment is able to maintain its larger weight thanks to the increasing temperature, which enables the snake to achieve its maximum potential for growth. As a consequence of this fact, the equator is home to the vast majority of the world's longest and most poisonous snakes.